Oh, the light came on. Yep, making the video. So it's the last day for the old computer. The new quiet one down there. It's finally working. So, I'll make this switch over. I'm gonna move all the CD drives and all that kind of crap. Anyway, I need some more memory. Damn, memory in the old computer doesn't fit the new one. Another miscalculation on my part. Anyway, I guess I'm going to say something about that Dave guy made a video to his son. I don't know. It's not the best place to post that kind of thing, I don't think. But, people were sort of commenting like it was a brave thing to do. I sort of thought it was incredibly tacky in a way. Look, I mean, if you had something to offer your son in the video, well, maybe, it would be worth doing. But, I don't see how your son wins here. If your son has got his act together, then all he's going to see is a guy who doesn't. Nothing to feel good about. Just, I gotta feel sorry for my old man because he's a fucktard. And if the kid's life is shit, well, then he's also going to feel like shit because he's like, oh, fuck, I'm really doomed. I mean, I thought I had it bad already, but now look at this. I got all this genetic stuff hanging on my head. You could have at least worn a shirt, I guess. I mean, you could have taken it a little bit fucking seriously. I'm just a hugely irresponsible asshole. I would love to meet you and, share a hot dog. I mean, what the fuck? Is that what being a father is? I don't think so. I don't think it's anywhere close to what it should be. So I say fail, fella. Sorry. Not a good idea. Anyway, vital signs, good luck and all that shit. Yuck. Anyway, speaking of suffering and unpleasantness that people must endure, so this cruddy guy, this Scumadeus, whatever, he keeps bragging on and on and on. So somebody asked, makes a perfectly good comment here. You seem perfectly content to take other human suffering into account, but not other animal suffering. This is an arbitrary line you will have to defend. And then he says, I do, ? Is it okay to eat carrots? Yes. Why? Perhaps sentience is an arbitrary line too. So this is just so silly. What if I think we need to draw the line at life? Or organisms that can be reproduced. So you're really not getting it, right? I mean, the bottom line is there's no friggin' way you're going to convince people who have felt suffering that they didn't feel it, okay, that it doesn't exist. If they draw the obvious logical conclusion that this is an important thing that happens to them, and it also happens to all these other conscious organisms, there's no way you can undo that. I mean, they've gotten it right, and you've gotten it incredibly wrong. The whole carrot thing is just so freaking silly. I mean, you really are this ignorant. You don't know about evolution and biology. You really are this stupid. You don't understand that sentience is something that happens in a complex neural network. That it doesn't happen in... If I cut my finger off, my finger doesn't go running around screaming and yelling. It's just silly. This is the end that will feel the pain. The pain will be felt by the thing with the central nervous system. This is just, like I said, the little kids can get this kind of stuff right. So anyway, drawing the line at just life is just kind of silly because that's a bunch of microbes. Then you're gonna sit there and worry about little mechanical reproducing machines. That's just idiotic. You might as well worry about a Xerox machine. We can push that line in any direction, either way, for as long as we want, and it will still be arbitrary. Well, you say it's arbitrary. There's nothing arbitrary about people explicitly saying the line should be at something that's harmable in the sense that you can cause it physical discomfort, that it will have an experience in its consciousness that will be decidedly unpleasant. That's not an arbitrary line, idiot. You can't keep calling it arbitrary when it's been explicitly stated to you that that's the rationale. So you have to actually make an argument to defeat that. You have to make an argument to explain that it's not suffering and that it's not important. So somehow you have to define how you can see it as not an important line, a huge distinction. I mean, the line between us and a gorilla is, compared to a gorilla and a carrot. You can't see the differences there. You can't see that a gorilla is almost the same thing and a carrot is profoundly different. I mean, I'm sorry for you then. I'm not sorry for you, really. Like I said, you really should just have all the suffering in the world should be just dumped right through your consciousness. Because there's no reason for you to be this stupid. You're not stupid enough in general to be this fucking stupid. So you're playing some kind of sick, depraved game. Speaking of which, the dentist guy, who I really like, I think is just playing a little devil's advocate and asking the same kind of question. So I'll post a link to his video below my video, or however this works out. I don't know how long this one's going to be. Website, or I don't know. Well, anyway, it'll be somewhere. Just asking a question like, why? Why should we care? And it's logic. I'm going to title this something like, you ought to know the simple math, or something like that. I mean, the math is just too simple. You can see yourself as a 1. You can see other people as a 1, as a 1, as a 1, as a 1. They're all the same, okay, in terms of what they can feel. And all you have to do is paint the red or the black number on us. At any one moment, we're either in the red or we're in the black in terms of what we're feeling. If we're suffering, if we're in pain, if we're in distress, then we're a red number. And when we're not, we're a black number. And you just do the math. I mean, once you know that it's a plus and a minus, I don't even think we have to get too detailed about, defining like, well, is oranges better than peaches, better than kumquats? I don't think you have to cut it that fine. I think we know when we're uncomfortable and when we're comfortable, when we're, running a deficit. And that's all that really matters. And so you just look and you throw all it together and you say, well, what's the net? Is it more positive than negative? Anyway, yeah, it'd be nice when all that noise is over with. So anyway, life. It was a new computer, so quiet. Anyway, let's see where we were. Arbitrary. I think life is pretty damn important. Well, why? Why do you think that? So I'll ask you a question. Why is it important? If the important part isn't the sentience thing, isn't the feelings, what exactly is the important? Why is it important? What is it accomplishing exactly? And if I eliminate all the little life forms that are living, a mile down in the ocean at the ocean vents, the volcanic vents, if I just wiped all that stuff out, you're not going to miss it, right? It's not going to matter. So why is life exactly important? Maybe pulling blades of grass out of the ground is morally wrong too. So it's just a silly question. Why don't you just say maybe throwing rocks up in the air and having them land on my head is a good idea? That's just so moronic. Just absolutely no reason to believe a blade of grass endures any distress whatsoever. No signs of it, no indication of it, no scientific reason. So you're just playing a stupid game. Maybe killing spiders is wrong. Well, who knows? We don't know that one for sure yet. We don't know exactly what's going on in an insect's brain. There's indications that they might feel, and that's very, very depressing. Whether it be wrong is a question about whether or not it's possible for us to do anything right in that circumstance. Right might be out of our grasp. It doesn't change the fact that it would be negative to do it unnecessarily. And that's the whole point, is any unnecessary suffering can't be justified. I don't know. I'm sure I hold lots of arbitrary beliefs. Well, maybe you're sure you do. And that makes you kind of silly, doesn't it? You're on the internet talking like you know something. And yet you're conceding you're sure that you hold lots of arbitrary beliefs. Then why are you selling beliefs on the internet? Why are you doing that? Maybe you should be a listener, not a talker. But I don't think that's your game. Your game is, you're playing a game here, fucker. You're not trying to learn something or do any of that kind of crap. You're just playing some kind of weaselly game. Because you wouldn't say something that stupid. Why would somebody who isn't sure they're a good engineer go get a job building bridges? That wouldn't make any sense, would it? No. If you don't know what you're fucking talking about, It's time to shut the fuck up. And that you do too. Well, that's an assumption you're making about other people. Why would other people open their mouth if they weren't certain of what they were talking about? But for me to switch them, it will hardly suffice for one to call my beliefs arbitrary and not explain why theirs isn't. Well, like I said, that has been explained to you in detail over and over and over again. You want to call suffering an arbitrary event of no significance, as you have done. Well, people are just going to argue with you. That's just not what the evidence demonstrates. The personal evidence we all experience. I have spoken to God on this subject. All right, I need no validation. I need no further evidence. I've experienced the evidence. That argument is way past over. Way over. Way over. So now this comparison to Hitler, just because of the fact that, yeah, I mean, you need to be a bigot. You need to find a way to discount other people's suffering. So, oh, come on, man. All of us are meat eaters, can accurately be compared to Hitler. Nobody compared you to Hitler. What people compared you to, they said that you have the necessary psychology, that a Hitler can't be a Hitler unless they are insensitive, unless they are capable of discounting something else's welfare. And that's what you're capable of through this philosophy of arbitrary discounting, because you don't take account of the suffering, you don't recognize it as a value, then, yeah, there's no way you can do the right math. Let's see. Bolts the comment. People criticize men. All ask who criticized. Let's see. You presented a case. Yeah, and you didn't answer the case, and so that's why this is all just such a pile of shit. Yeah. So that's probably enough of there's other stuff in here. These little jerky comments this guy makes. I mean, he just keeps talking the same shit over and over and over. Let's see. I'm just having a tough time seeing why sentience and suffering of animals is anything more than an arbitrary condition. Again, it's how, there's absolutely nothing in my life less arbitrary than the distinction between, harsh, unpleasant, a hangover and an orgasm. Okay, I'm really good at being able to tell the difference between those two things. There's just nothing ambiguous or arbitrary about my ability to draw hard distinctions between those two things. And if you're having trouble, then I'd see somebody. Get some help, fella. So anyway, it's just too stupid to be worth the time. So, but it's just, look, it's all just basic math. The value, the source of value in the universe, again, no one's going to give me a rational argument against this truth, is that everything that has value only has value because it can affect a sentient thing, whether it be person or animal. That's the only way something derives value, is it either has to be able to harm or please something, comfort, and that's it. So that's the definition of all morality, is basically just that comfort equation, is just trying to figure out what's the impact of my actions in terms of how much suffering will be endured because of what I do. How will I change the equation, the mix? And that's all there is to morality. There's no other absolute morality beyond the social contract, which again is just those are arbitrary. That's an arbitrary morality that's just established as to be pragmatic, just because we can't allow people to be vigilantes, even though it might be totally appropriate to murder some people as they stand on the street because they are a threat, and they have committed past crimes. As a social contract, we can't make those determinations as individuals. We have a procedure you have to go through to get that done. And that's just being practical, because, we can't all be looking over our shoulder all the time for who's coming to get us. So anyway, this guy is just too stupid. Too stupid. 4 words. So, yeah, and I don't know, like I said, dentist guy, I think he's just being a devil's advocate, so I mean, I don't think I have to explain to him the math. We do the right thing because if we do the wrong thing, we will destroy the productivity of our own existence. We will become a member of the dark side. We will be a negative. And who wants to do that? Who wants to be a menace? Who wants to be a plague? Who wants to be a blight? You'll be all of those things if you don't do your math and try your best not to be an asshole. I mean, in terms of how much of this you cause. So anyway, yeah, Paulie posted a nice little picture of the cat there. That's a funny little picture. Yay, cat. Anyway. Gee, so there was probably something else I was supposed to get to, but I guess I won't bother. Let's see, Vloggerhood. There it is. Oh, Frank Boring. Worst thing ever. Phantom. Yeah. Well, Mr. Phantom guy, you shouldn't be swearing on the on the vlogger heads, Mr. Phantom man. That's very rude. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Bella was a little too kind still, so whatever, Bella. You can't see the difference between this guy is a gaping asshole. You were an asshole, but you weren't gaping. This guy's a gaping asshole. So anyway, enough of the video. Until next time and such. Yeah, this camera's got a broken screen. Can't tell if I hit the button. Pretty damn sure.